have a very conscious week. It will be a week in which you are aware of your role in your life, your role in the experience of your life. It's everything that the five principles have to remind us of. And what I would like to remind you all of to hold in your hearts and in your mind this week is this notion, and that is that you have the power to transform what upsets you into what excites you. Oh. We live in a world where it's so easy to get upset. It's so easy to notice people who are upsetting to us, personality types, just issues that are upsetting to us, situations, circumstances. So it's good for us to remember together today that we have the power to transform anything that upsets us into something that excites us. And I remember when we were back at Pierce School like a few years ago, maybe 4 years ago, I reminded us that most of us have heard that there is a Chinese coin that has a symbol on each side. It's the same symbol. There's nothing different about it at all. But the Chinese use this coin with the same symbol to demonstrate how we interpret symbols. That everything in the world is a symbol that we interpret. So one side of the coin is interpreted as danger. When you see this sign, everyone who looks at the sign has an opportunity to see it as meaning danger. That's what this sign means. But other people realize that that same sign, so you flip the coin, you're looking at the same sign, but this time it's interpreted as opportunity. So in the Chinese symbology, the same symbol that means danger also means opportunity. And it's up to the individual to decide when they see that sign, which one of these things does it mean to me? That everything in the world, every symbol in the world, and symbols, people are symbols, attitudes are symbols, occurrences are symbols, and we are interpreting all of them through a filter of what we choose to see. And we will always see one of these two interpretations of this Chinese sign. Everything we look at, we will see as an opportunity for us to see as a danger sign or as an opportunity sign. If we see it as a danger sign, it's upsetting. And a lot of us, let me tell you, the temptation to see danger in the world is an easy temptation to give into. It's an easy temptation to fall prey to. Because if we look at the symbols in the world of what seems to be happening between God's children, the war that is being waged between the children of God is so striking and so blatant, and offers us so much physical proof that the separation is real, and that divisiveness is real, and that war is real. We see so much evidence of it in the symbol of the world that our taking it on as danger automatically leads to upset. It is not possible for the human mind to encounter what it perceives of as danger without that being upsetting. Danger has to give rise to something we're going to do to avoid the danger. One of the things they say that human beings do in the face of danger is there is an impulse called the flight impulse. We want to turn around and run. If we feel like we're not fast enough to turn around and run and get away, there is another human impulse that is alive and well and living in our psyche, and that's called the fight. Flight or fight. These are the two options that we feel are available to us when we are confronting danger or observing the symbol and calling it danger. And it's upsetting. It's not fun to feel like you're in danger. It's not fun, People can lie on you, they can talk about you, they can mistreat you, they can gossip about you behind your back, and you find out about it, and that's a dangerous feeling, and you say, I'm automatically upset because of what occurred. But no, I'm automatically upset because I observed what occurred and interpreted it as danger. These people, these kind of conditions and things are dangerous to my well-being. On the other hand, the same things can occur in my life and in the greater world, and I have the opportunity to see them as opportunities. These are opportunities. If I am lied on, talked about, cheated, and mistreated, I have an opportunity to not perceive myself in danger, but to call upon the power that is within me that's greater than anything I will encounter in the world and call it, this is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for me to demonstrate that what don't kill me makes me strong. It's an opportunity for me to demonstrate that greater is the power within me than any of this stuff that I'm dealing with in the world. It's an opportunity to show that all of the power in heaven and in earth is mine to deal with this challenge. Once, I think back when we were at Pierce School, I told you that my mom was amazing. My mom was an educator. My mom was one of these people that graduated college when she was 17 years old. She skipped all these grades, and she was a brain child, and my father married her when she was 17 years old. He was 19 years older than she was, and everybody said, oh my God, that man's going to ruin that woman's life. She's heading somewhere, and this dude is going to stop her in the process. But he got behind her education. My mom ended up being the first certified school teacher in Springfield, Illinois back in the 50s when I was a little kid. She went on, my dad supported her to get her master's degree and then to get her doctorate degree, and she became the assistant to the superintendent of schools in St. Paul, Minnesota back in the 60s, and she was a part of integrating the school systems throughout Minnesota, and she was a pretty big deal. And then she got hired to be a professor at the University of Massachusetts in Amherst, and not long after she was there, she became one of the deans in the School of Education. Let me tell you, my mom was okay with her education and her accomplishments like in the world, but they didn't thrill her. What thrilled her was that she belonged to God. That's what thrilled her. She didn't testify about what she did in education. She testified about her absolute faith and trust in Jesus. Now, my mom works with my adopted Aunt Lillian. We got to Minnesota when my mom was hired as the assistant to the superintendent of schools, and racism was rampant and in your face in Minnesota when we moved there. At the time we moved there, I was, I think, in the 7th grade. And we got into this field where there were not a lot of people of color at all, and the landscape was that, whoa, people of color are way down on the bottom of this unlevel playing field. And my mom got involved in the work to eradicate racism, sexism, and homophobia. That took her into the military. She worked with the military while she was superintendent of schools. She was flying off to Key West all the time, dealing with sexism and racism and homophobia in the military. Mom, we used to look at Mom and go, oh my God, what is this woman going to do next? But she never bragged about any of it. What she bragged about was, I gave my life to Jesus Christ when I was 9 years old, and I've been a child of the King ever since. So Prince passed on recently. My mom called herself a princess. She said, I'm a child of the King. This is what I'm proud of. Mom hooked up with an adopted aunt called Aunt Lillian, who Mom hired to work with her to eradicate racism, sexism, and homophobia in institutions and in the world at large. But I got to tell you, they did the same work, they took the same trips, they had the same curriculum, and they were expounding the same doctrine that sexism, ageism, homophobia and racism were things that need to be eradicated. I watched these two women work. We all watched them work for years. And let me tell you, even though they were doing the same job, it was like looking at two people from different planets. Because as they did this work to eradicate racism, sexism, and homophobia, my Aunt Lillian was spitting bullets mad constantly. She was so angry with white folks that she could barely sleep and could barely eat. She was always raging and ranting everywhere and so angry, and my mom was nothing but excited. There is so much work to do. There is so much sexism in the armed forces, so much racism in the armed forces, and so much homophobia in the armed forces. There is so much for me to do. And she went excitedly about her work while my Aunt Lillian went stomping, angry, her face distorted, creating dis-ease in her own body and in her own mind because she saw the symbol of the need for the eradication of separation. She saw it as danger. I am in danger, our people are in danger. My mom said, I have an opportunity and our people have an opportunity. They just looked at the same Chinese symbol and they each interpreted it in a different way. One said danger, the other said opportunity. As we look at this world, it is so easy to fall prey to the erroneous belief that we are in danger and that our people are in danger and our tribes are in danger or our church communities are in danger or our families are in danger. We can do it about anything: finances, the appearance of dis-ease, emotional disturbances, but we can also say this is a sign that is subject to my interpretation. My mom said, I think it's so exciting that there is so much work for me to do. I remember a young man was visiting our house one night and he said, well, wouldn't you desire, Dr. Anderson, wouldn't you desire that there was no racism and there was no sexism and there was no homophobia and you didn't have to do this work? She said, that would be awesome. And that day is not here. Right now, racism is in our face. Sexism is in our face. Homophobia is in our face. So when the work needs to be done, given the fact that it needs to be done, I'm going to do it in the only sane way I know how, which is to look at it as an opportunity. If I were a carpenter and I wanted to go work on a house and renovate the bathroom, and I got there and the bathroom was already renovated and didn't need my work, well, fine. I thought I had an opportunity to work here, but the work is already done. That's how my mom thought. You know, at one point, the work is just getting schools integrated in Minnesota. And that was the work she worked toward, and it got done. And then there was another piece of work was how are we going to get the bus systems to get the people where they need to go? So she took on each challenge as an opportunity, and when the opportunity was realized, hey, don't worry about it, baby. There's another one that is yet to be realized. There is more work to do. But looking at everything as opportunity rather than danger will allow us to exercise the power and know we have the power to transform what upsets us into what excites us. I would just ask if you would just take a moment, just close your eyes, and just check around in your own mind and in your own heart. And notice those things that they should come readily to mind, at least one or two things that you have allowed to upset you. They are things about you, they are things about family members, they are things about people in your neighborhood or in the world at large that you have looked at as danger signs, and therefore they have given rise in your heart and mind to a feeling of upset. What is one thing that has been upsetting to you because you have interpreted it to be that you can right now get excited about? It's something that needs you. It's something that needs your work. It needs your point of view. It needs your eyes. It needs you to have an open heart and an excited nature about, oh my God, there's so much to do in this world, and I have been sent here to handle this business. What can I get excited about? Can I no longer let the appearance of lack or limitation in my life, can I look at that and go, even though my finances don't change, I'm going to stop looking at this symbol as a danger symbol and start seeing it as an opportunity symbol? I've known people in my lives who were immobilized with a desire to have some sort of stability in their financial reality. And when they look and see that I've earned less than I owe, it's a danger sign to them. And some of them are at a point where they get immobilized. They're stuck. They can't move. They can't look for other employment, nor can they call forth from themselves any creative capacity to increase their income. But once they stop looking at it as danger and change their minds and call it opportunity, they realize that the opportunities are limitless. I've seen people get up off their knees after being on their knees for months or years, and when they got up running. It's because they got up, they had returned to themselves. It's like the prodigal child out there, starving, thinking about eating what the pigs are eating. You know, if a nice Christian boy like me, I would, if I'm out there with the swine, I'm thinking about bacon. The prodigal son was a Jewish boy. He didn't even need to be around no swine, let alone thinking about eating what they're eating. But it said that at some point he came to himself and he arose and said, I will return to my father. What he did in that moment of coming to himself, he's down there going, oh my God, all I'm looking at is a symbol of danger all around me. I done left the house. I done got everything that I deserved to get from my dad. I have wasted it on whatever I've wasted it on, and I'm out here starving. I am in danger. That was his rock bottom. When you get done looking at your life, when you hit rock bottom on responding to the dangers of this world, the danger of unemployment, the danger of the appearance of disease, the danger of an unlevel playing field for women, for people of color, for people of a certain age, for people with certain handicaps, for whatever you want to look at. When you hit rock bottom, you will come to yourself and you will arise and say, I'll go to the Father, because you will have decided to lay down, to flip that coin. And even though it's the same symbol, you now interpret it as opportunity. I want all of us this week to step into a greater sense of the opportunities that are available to us in life. There are countless opportunities for each and every one of us to forward heaven on planet Earth. We can do it through forgiveness. We can do it through stopping playing the most popular game on planet Earth. It outbeats every sport, every board game. It is called the blame game. If we just disengage, because people who play the blame game are playing the blame game as an automatic response to looking at the symbol as danger. That's when you play the blame game, when you think you're in danger. And you have to fault somebody out there for your being in danger. But once we see this world, the opportunities are countless. They are countless for us to forward heaven on planet Earth. They are countless for us to make unity more than just a word. The scripture says where there is unity, there is peace. And deep in our hearts, we know that. And that's all I want you to think about this week. As you notice your own responses to what is, your responses to the news, your responses to your family, your responses to your significant others, whatever you're responding to, just pause periodically this week and go, am I looking at this symbol and interpreting it as danger and therefore upsetting? Or am I interpreting this symbol of what is occurring as opportunity, which automatically gives rise to excitement? Whenever any of us this week find ourselves upset about anything, let's pause and go, I'm looking at it as danger. Let me flip the coin and therefore flip my mind into seeing all of the opportunity that is available here. I had a friend of mine say, I have one of the craziest, most insane families on the planet. And I said, wow, what an opportunity. And he said, what did you say? And I said, what an opportunity. He said, no. You clearly didn't hear what I said. What I just said, Carlos, is I have my family, my mom and dad and siblings, aunts and uncles, are the craziest, most insane people on the planet. And I go, I heard you, bro. What an opportunity. What an opportunity to see beyond all that. To see the little kids inside who are trapped in all that. What an opportunity to stop cursing them constantly and to start blessing them more. Everywhere we look, there is an opportunity for each and every one of us to forward the kingdom, queendom, mortem, alldom of God in our own minds, in our own hearts, and give it as a gift to the world.